Hey everyone, quick intro video because I had a random thought and wanted to talk. The editing is back to mid in this video because my editor is working on a much bigger project for me, which will be out soon, so please bear with it. Like and sub for story analysis of Genshin, and let's go. I was in the shower, and seemed forgotten player, I know, but I was having my showerly thoughts, and naturally, thinking about my hyperfixation of 3 years, and my hatred for Mavuika, specifically that cooch zipper, because what is this design, spiraling into the natural progression of mourning her writing's lost potential, etc., etc. But then, I remembered something. As soon as I got out of the shower, I rewatched what I remember to be one of my favorite Genshin shorts of all time, Mavuika's Sunset trailer. I haven't looked this thing's way since the Archon quest because that whole story just kinda left a bad taste in my mouth for all story-related Natlan stuff. But this short single-handedly fixes every major problem I have with her character. This was the video that made me pull Mavuika, and it was perfect. And then, I played the Archon quest. I made a video recently where I went more in depth on what exactly is wrong with Mavuika. You can check it out in the link below if you want, but in short, Mavuika has no flaws. She's not only the strongest, but also smartest, kindest, most humble, yet most confident woman in all of Teyvat, all at once. She even occasionally teaches known experts in their own field. It's ridiculous. While it's cool to have a non-traumatized Archon who's great at and even loves their job, Mavuika's novelty is the only cool thing about her. In practice, she just comes across as knowing and doing everything right, which just feels unrealistic and kinda annoying. Also, and this is something I forgot to mention in my video, she also seems to feel literally no substantial emotion. You're telling me the only regret Mavuika had about going into the future was leaving her sister, and when they finally reunite, in private mind you, she doesn't even show a shred of emotion. She's just like, oh cool, you're here anyway. If I were Mavuika, I'd practically be strangling Hina in a hug and crying my eyes out. Even a strong character should be allowed to show some kind of vulnerability to their own little sister. But here's the thing, she does. It's just not in the game. In the animated short Sunset, we see Mavuika's full backstory. I absolutely love this video. It starts off with us seeing the original heroes, all of whom are completely badass. We also get to see Mavuika with her little sister, Hine, and their relationship is absolutely adorable. Hine is shown to be a big reason Mavuika does all she does, a motivator for her creating a good world for Hine. At the core, beneath all the stoicism and facade, is a big sister, and that's beautiful to me. We see the original heroes going into battle, coming out victorious, but broken. Mavuika is carried off by a dying Tupac to the throne, and barely makes it before starting her journey into the future. For most stories, riding off into the sunset is a happy thing. Well, yeah, the video isn't the most subtle thing in the world. It makes complete sense for Mavuika and what she just went through. For 500 years, Mavuika chases her sunset, her happy ending. But the way she started her journey was not one of triumph. She began with a defeat, with everyone she loved dying. 500 years is so far away, and all Mavuika sees are the bodies of the warriors she wished she could protect. But she has to stay focused. She has to stay perfect. So she tunnel visions on the sunset. She's running blind into her happy ending, but doesn't know what that means for her. She doesn't know what came before. Mavuika only knows this is something she's always chased, and even after the years go by and the land changes around her, she can never understand why she's chasing it. After staring into the sunset for so long, she's forgotten what it means to her. Eventually, she decides to take a break. She goes to the bench and sits with a girl she doesn't recognize. It's here we see Mavuika at her lowest. Broken, confused, hopeless. The girl is Hine, but Mavuika is so discombobulated she's forgotten her whole reason for this in the first place, her little sister. She asks Hine why she's here, and Hine says she's waiting for sunset, the metaphorical happy ending Mavuika has been fighting for. But so unlike the Mavuika we know, the Mavuika here just tells her that it's hopeless. That the sun will never set, that they'll just chase the happy ending into oblivion and yet never reach it. Seeing her like this is genuinely shocking, and it's great. She's tired, directionless. Somewhere we've all been or will likely be at some point in our life. Even if we have some semblance of what we should do, a lot of the time, in chasing our sunsets, we just end up blinded by their light. This makes Mavuika just insanely relatable. Similar to Farina, which, as we know, would definitely endear her to anyone. It certainly did for me. But what really made me want to make this video is what happens next. When Mavuika is sitting, static and tired, it's Hine who helps her back on track. Yes, Mavuika is helped by someone. In a massive way, too. Without Hine, her plan never would have worked. She would have been stuck forever, but was reminded why she began her journey by her sister. This gives her the strength she needs to make that final push and reach the future she dreamed of. For Natlin, and for Hine. Also, can we take a second to just appreciate the music? In the whole section where she's writing, it's just a dull, continuous humming sound. I'm not a music expert, but it just feels like aimless emptiness. And then when she gets back on track, the music keeps the same tune but adds some strings and then becomes epic. Like, dude, hello, this was sick. Natlin was definitely peaked for music at the very least. This story made me fall in love with her, mainly because I'm also a big sister. The story resonated with me deeply. And so, when the final Archon quest came out, I was completely underwhelmed. Where was the flawed yet strong girl boss from the teaser? I pulled for her, not this perfect Pyro Mary Sue who can do no wrong and does everything go perfectly. This might sound a bit contradictory, but to me, videos not in-game don't count as character development. They serve as flavor, just some extra lore or fun stuff about the character. Just take the latest teaser with Aino and Inefa. That story is totally unnecessary to understand them, but is absolutely adorable, and serves as a means of fleshing them out beyond what we'll likely get in-game. That's what Sunset should have been. Instead, it's the One Time Mavuika is well written. We never see this in-game. After overcoming it this single time, it's never a problem again. Obvious fun fact, not at all how character development works. Just because you had one salad after years of junk food and then go back to sodas does not mean you're on a diet now. It means you had a single fucking salad. This side of her needs to be shown in-game, not just in the trailer, and more than just once. To be clear, this does not mean Paimon needs to spell it out for us. I think we're all tired of that. But there's a difference between the writing being subtle and it just not being there. No, Mavuika does not need to be constantly giving up or anything, but we should have her be uplifted by her people and need their help every once in a while for significant things. Wouldn't Natlin have been so much cooler if Mavuika had died in battle and the rest of the heroes had broken into the boss domain to save her and then defeat Gosoisoth as a whole team? After all, the whole thing of Natlin is no one fights alone, but that doesn't apply to the most important character, I guess? Okay, I'm going off of my initial sour tangent about her missed potential, now I'll stop. Alright, that's pretty much it. This is a shorter video, but something I wanted to talk about, and I also mentioned I have a longer video in the works that will hopefully be out by the end of the week. Let me know what you think, though. Was this scene enough to make her good? Was it even good at all, or am I just overcomplicating it? Subscribe if you agreed, or even if you didn't, since feedback, good or bad, is always welcome in this community. With that, have a good morning, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you are, and hope to see you in the next one.